Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. We're back with another episode. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Spider-Man, like we said last week. We are finally covering the topic that we mentioned the previous week.
This is
a milestone for this show.
It's a milestone.
Hey. Heyo. We had Gavin on for roughly 10 minutes and then he had to leave.
But for the rest of the 3-hour long podcast, we just rant about Spider-Man and stuff. And I will admit, we do go off on tangents, mostly me, but that's because before doing this podcast, I drank like 5 energy drinks.
Yeah.
So,
now, if you want to skip to or from any of our big long tangents, I do have timestamps listed out down below,
I think at
so
one
you can
point
skip
we
to whatever you'd like.
Jump into a completely different franchise. Alex, we never mentioned Star Wars.
Oh my god. Well, there you just did.
Okay.
Now I can put Star Wars in the tags.
Baby Yoda commits genocide. Cancel him, you Twitter. Baby
Our
Yoda
social media is
Hitler?
linked at the bottom of the description, so you can yell at us there if you disagreed with anything in today's show, or you can just follow us to see what kind of stuff we tweet.
Yes. I don't really use my Twitter, but I'll probably start posting like shirt designs and stuff just to see like put a toe in that water. Because Alex does want to do merch, and as the resident artist, if I can even call myself that, it is my duty to try and provide you all with a bountiful harvest. So I'm putting about 5 minutes into each one of them and crying the rest of the time. So I hope you enjoy what machinations my mind comes up with.
Subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode, and with that, let's just jump into it.
And then you had those kids in bio class where they'd be like, "There's a vaping," and like no one gave a shit. Anyone get any one of those kids? Any one of those dudes
Who vape and don't care?
If they just vape in class and teachers like, I don't care.
See, there were some kids in my gym class that were like the hoodlum troublemaker type.
Yeah.
And someone got in trouble for having a vape in their locker, like their gym locker.
Yeah.
And so like there was this, like the gym teacher had like this whole discussion about how like you shouldn't be vaping and you especially shouldn't be bringing it to your gym locker.
Mm-hmm.
And how like, you know, it fucks up your lungs, which is very true.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know how smart the kids are at Benzie?
About as smart as Trump's legal team.
They're so smart that incident happened multiple times.
See, that's just the case of the I don't give a fucks.
No one learns from their mistakes or from other people's mistakes.
Well, it's not a mistake if you don't give a fuck. That's the thing. You know, if you're just like, I do not care. It's like, I don't care. Then it just keeps on happening. Dude, I remember there's this kid in my high school who vaped, right? And he tried to hide his vape inside of his water bottle. But it wasn't full or anything, but he thought it was so clever because then he could pretend like he's drinking his water when really he would be vaping. Here's the issue with that, though. He had a clear fucking water bottle.
Oh.
So, like...
Big brain time.
It was big brain time, but it was so stupidly executed.
God. They can't see it if it's in a water bottle.
Right?
But that reminds me, though, your story. Humans are 75% water.
Yeah.
And, Daddy's thirsty.
Oh.
Are you just gonna drink my blood or something, or?
Yeah.
Okay, but that includes my piss too. You realize you'd have to drink my piss.
Okay.
And eat my shit.
Okay, no, that's not liquid though, unless it's diarrhea.
No, but it has a lot of water in it.
You need to stop drinking.
And no, like shit has a lot of water in it, my guy. It just naturally does.
I've never noticed. Mine's usually dry. It crumbles.
Okay, you should talk to a gastroenterologist about
Jared,
that.
Gavin's talking shit, and you're just gonna take that?
Take his shit.
I guess he
Gavin's
was talking
talking
about.
shit at you.
You know what? You're right, Gavin.
You know,
Why
yeah,
would you do this?
because fuck you. That's why.
Oh,
hey now, you're a rock star.
Get your game on. Get laid.
Is that how it goes?
No.
It's not.
Okay. I was like, get your game on, get laid. Jeez, man.
He really is giving you an order at that point. He's just like,
He's like
hey
really
guys,
lay into it.
That's the rock star life.
Get laid.
Get drugs.
Get laid, pussy.
All that glitter.
Do
is gold.
sex. Have drugs. Be rock.
Have sex, dude. Wait.
Be
Do
the
sex, have
rock.
drugs. Oh yeah.
If you be the Rock Johnson, you're apparently a chef.
What?
The joke of that is that his catchphrase on the stage is, now you get to smell what the Rock is cooking, which makes no sense for his nickname. He should have been the cook if he wasn't fucking using that. But you know what? I guess all logic is just thrown out the window.
But Dwayne Johnson
Especially
is
in
made
these
of
days.
stone, so like, how would that fit in?
Like, this has always bothered me though. It's like every other wrestler has their nickname and stuff. Like Macho Man Randy Savage, he gave himself the nickname The Cream because his saying was the cream rises to the top. That makes sense. Albeit it's absolutely insane.
It's a little homoerotic.
Well, it's Macho Man Randy Savage.
It's at least erotic.
Macho Man Randy Savage is 95% cocaine and 5% muscle. But
Sounds like my Friday night.
Isn't he the guy that played Bonesaw?
No, I think that's The Undertaker.
No, that was
Bonesaw is no, I know that was Randy Savage.
Who
wasn't
was that?
it? Hold on.
Put your hand on my shoulder, whisper in my ear, baby.
Bonesaw McGraw.
Did no one
Played
notice
by
the
Randy
amazing-
Savage.
Yeah, shit.
No one noticed?
Bonesaw is ready.
No one noticed my amazing. Never mind.
I'm sorry. Tell us.
Wow. No, never mind. I guess you guys just don't care.
If you don't
All
tell
right.
us, I'll fuck you in the ass.
I said, put your hand on my shoulder, whisper in my ear, baby. And no one noticed. And now I'm just, now I realize what kind of show this is. Y'all are just a bunch of fakers who wants to get a whiff of fame and fortune.
We're a bunch of girths.
We're a bunch of girths.
Gavin, exclusionary radical feminists.
Oh my God.
What is that?
A girth.
Exclusionary radical.
A TERF, the trans exclusionary radical feminists.
I have no clue what that is.
Okay, it's a
internet
radical
thing.
feminist that hates trans people.
They're
What?
such radical feminists that they shudder at the idea of a woman having been at any point a man,
Or a man at one point being a woman.
Why is it any of their business?
Because they're radical feminists.
I mean, I wouldn't peg that up.
that's like what J.K. Rowling is.
Like I wouldn't put that on.
That's exactly what she is. Oh my God,
Dude,
I'm sorry.
what
My
the
inner
fuck was
demon
that?
came out.
Like I wouldn't pin that on radical feminism though. I would just pin that on dumbass people doing dumbass things because why not? It's 2020.
Yeah.
There's such a large number of these people though and it's like a subsection of radical feminists. Like it's a pretty large like chunk of that specific group.
There are a lot of people who believe the earth is flat too, but do we give them any like actual recognizable like credit?
No,
Well,
but
it's
they
not
will
like
give
a credit
themselves
thing.
pats
It's
on the
more
back.
just giving them a proper label.
Why don't we just not acknowledge them and just be like, hey, you
because
don't
they all
exist.
acknowledge themselves, and they'll
Oh,
group
my mom's
themselves up with
calling
other
me.
groups.
Oh dang.
Like the
Nutter
problem
butters.
is like they want to
Hold on,
consider
let me mute
themselves
myself
one
real quick.
thing, and that thing's different to the other, to what they believe.
One
But,
of these
like,
things is just
one
not
of
like.
these things just doesn't belong here.
I love you guys.
Thank you.
I want
Well, no,
Jared,
that's basically
Jared,
the gist of it, though.
Jared,
Is it's
Jared.
just yeah.
Jared, I want you.
Oh,
I want
I'm
you,
sorry.
Jared. I want you,
Sorry,
Jared.
I can't give you that.
Ew.
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm sorry. That was a step too far.
Too far in the right direction.
Oh, Jared,
Okay.
die in a hole, please.
Oh,
Don't do that, actually, though.
if I'm not here making everyone feel weird, then like, what's the point of life?
Put your hand on my shoulder. Whisper in my ear.
Baby,
Baby.
it's cold outside.
Put your hand on this Folgers. Whisper in my ear.
I'm your brother.
Oh, God. That was a funny commercial. That was really funny stuff.
That commercial was so fucking weird.
That was so funny.
Hey sis, I'm back from Vietnam. I missed you, brother. You're
that
my
really what she said?
present. No.
You're my present this year.
That's what she said. You're my present this year. No, let me unwrap it.
Have you seen the College Humor version of that commercial?
Yeah, with the parents.
And they're like, God, your brother and sister.
You are brother and sister. There's nothing wrong with this. Everything about it is wrong.
Oh, man.
The mom's crying in the corner. We failed.
Oh, man.
Don't do incest, kids.
Don't, really. It's against the law. Not just because it's against the law, but just in general. It's not.
Actually, I think that's the one horrible thing that's not against the law.
It's only for cousins. Like, brothers and sisters are not allowed.
Now, you see, I feel like we should expand that to if you have a shared blood amount that's family related, don't fuck them.
Yes.
It's like,
I agree.
that's how we get the problems
But then
that
again,
we have today.
We have rights. We have rights, and we're allowed to. We have a constitutional right to do.
Yeah, but like,
I'm
I
back.
don't know. I feel
we
like
have a constitutional right to.
Did I miss
love who I
anything?
want to
we're
love,
talking about
except
the
if they're too-
downsides of incest.
Is that something that we had to like address?
No, well,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
apparently.
pretty
'cause
sure
I
people
don't-
are aware of this.
Well, that's the thing, though, because apparently you can marry your cousin.
You can marry your second cousin. I think it's second cousin.
It's only illegal if you're brother and sister. However, you want to fuck your cousin? Go right ahead.
Welcome to Alabama.
Well, your first cousin, like Gavin said, if it's your second cousin, then that's probably just far apart enough that it's not
we
weird.
have
It's
a
still weird, though.
but I
You're-
still wouldn't do it.
We
You're
have a
still related.
constitutional. We have a constitutional right to love whoever we want to love.
You know, I was listening
You know
to
what?
Bill Burr's podcast the other day, and someone wrote in asking for advice because this guy has been dating this woman and he likes her a lot, and
They just found out they were at one point brother and sister, but were separated.
no, let me finish.
Oh.
So they were gonna get married. I think they were engaged at this point. When the I think what happened was they had like a family
When
gathering
the fire,
for Thanksgiving.
when the Fire Nation invaded.
The guy's
Thank you.
mother and the woman's father were both invited to Thanksgiving. They had like the guy lost his father and the girl lost her mother, and their parents both met and they really hit it off, and they
I see the problem now.
they
don't get
they called up the guy and the girl, asked them to go out to lunch with them, and they the parents told the two young lovers that they were engaged and they're going to be married. And their wedding is going to take place like they might not the young ones might not have been engaged yet at this point, but the guy definitely wanted to marry this girl. And at the point, like when he's writing and he's like, do I go through with this or do I say something? Do I break up with this woman? Like
This
I would just say,
reminds
I don't want to
me-
marry my stepsister, but I really love this girl.
Just don't let just
don't
disconnect
think
yourself
about
from that
it,
entire
fam.
family. Just
It's a real Greg and Marsha Brady situation.
Grow out a
Take a-
beard, shave off all your hair, gain 200 pounds, move to Guantanamo, become a different person.
Guantanamo?
I don't
Excuse
care.
me?
That's probably a country.
Guantanamo.
Are you thinking of Guantanamo Bay, the extrajudicial torture camp?
I probably said the wrong thing, but yeah, go there also. Commit enough war crimes to be put there.
My dudes, I want to start a sitcom about a black lawyer, so he can say in court that the defendant would rather stay anonymous.
Antoine? I don't get it.
Because his name is Antoine. I'm stupid. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sure probably Antoinous. I just think that would
so fucking hilarious.
fuck
That's
you.
so
Alex.
hilarious.
I'm literally
Gavin.
right
The
now.
whole squad's laughing.
You know what? I don't fucking
Oh
need
god,
this.
that burp went in. What the fuck?
I don't need this, guys. I could be on YouTube.
Oof. But that reminds me though. Shit,
He was a
I
skater
forgot.
boy. She said, "See you later, boy."
Hold on, we've been recording for 20 minutes now. We should probably just get into the show now.
Gotcha. Let's do this.
Until I get
All right.
into you. Okay. Let's go.
So, if I may be
Guten
so
Tag,
bold,
muchachos.
if I may be
Let's
so
go.
bold, I would say that the story arc of Spider-Man in the MCU was stolen from Miles Morales.
Oh, you mean Iron Boy?
Actually,
that was me choking
actually-
on my ego.
Actually, Alex, it's measured in kilometers.
Oh my
Kilometers
God.
Morales.
Kilometers, Sin.
That's the European port.
Oh my God. No, I agree with you 100% though. It's like everyone complains about like, okay, this is different, but like I want to address this because like all these Spider-Man purists constantly bitch and moan about Iron Man being Spider-Man's mentor. But there are comics where Miles Morales' origin is changed to where he's like either Prowler, like Prowler's his mentor, or Spider-Man is also his mentor. And it's like no one was mad about that. They weren't all like, oh, he's just Prowler Jr. now. But it's like,
Well, to be fair, a lot of these people complaining about it are Peter Parker purists. Try
that's
saying that
true.
5 times fast.
Peter Parker purist, Peter Parker purist, Peter Parker purist, Peter Parker. Oh, God damn it. Hey, where'd Gavin go?
He was trying to get our attention a second ago.
Oh shit. Did something happen?
You might have to go wee-wee.
I'm sorry, Gavin. I'm sorry, Gavin. I didn't know.
Hi there. I'm sorry. I hung up on accident. And
Oh,
my
I'm
dad
sorry.
will need my help doing something later, so I'll have to leave.
No worries.
How long?
I don't know. They're always like, "We need you for something," and I'm like, "How long?" And they're like, "For as long as we need you." And I'm like, "Okay."
Is that like how soon do they need you?
I don't know. They just said they need me. So I'm just gonna stay here until they come up and say, "Where were you?" And I'll be like, "I was here. I didn't know you needed me now." And then it'll be good.
All right.
That's the plan. I'm sticking to it.
Sounds good.
Mucho gusto.
Muchacha lacha.
Okay, Nacho Libre. Starring the hit comedian Jack Black. And that other guy.
I want to be like my own star. I'm gonna call myself Tac Mac.
Jack
And-
Mac.
Yeah, Mac Tac. Maybe Mac Tac sounds better.
No, that's a McDonald's thing. You can't do that.
Oh man.
So
If you do that, the company that stole someone else's last name will sue you for stealing their thing.
I'll be like, I didn't steal it. I just usurped it.
In case you guys didn't know, I fucking hate McDonald's. Like, not the food, but the company itself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
They're
assy.
evil. They are
they're pretty
literally
scummy.
they're the embodiment of everything that's wrong with trying to be an entrepreneur these days. Instead
Yeah,
of being an honest, hardworking salesman, you're a fucking conniving lawyer who made a real estate company. But technically, it's a restaurant. It's a restaurant service. It's more like a
This
restroom
summer,
service. You tell me, McDonald's. Is it more of a laxative, or do you eat it because it's enjoyable?
it's really something that you eat because
It's
Yeah,
there.
you either don't have any other options or you haven't had it in a long time and you wanna you
You're
want some
having Big
nostalgia.
Mac withdrawals. You're having some McDonald's Sprite withdrawals because they mix in heroin.
No, it's like something that you think back on and you're like, oh, I remember that being pretty good, and then you have it and it's like I don't need this for another month.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. It's like
Also,
it's like
heads up,
Taco Bell
guys.
Doritos.
Because I've dieted consistently on Doritos and energy drinks for the past 4 hours, I might get onto a bunch of ranty tangents about shit. That's just because everything
I
is
hope
going
that
5
doesn't
miles
happen.
per hour. I'm sorry. I should have said this at the beginning, but you know.
So anyway,
Miles
back to
Morales, miles
yeah.
per hour. So he
so
his
I
origin
took
story.
notes while watching Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, which carry the bulk of Peter Parker's character arc in the Marvel movies.
I can't wait for Spider-Man 3 Homeless.
So, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Wait.
I think
Spider-Man 4 Home Alone.
Yes.
So Spider-Man Homecoming, in my opinion, parallels the story, the general character arc of Miles Morales
Absolutely.
in the games.
And in some of the adaptations of his storyline, it changes depending on it. Like in Into the Spider-Verse, instead of it being Iron Man as Spider-Man's mentor, it's another Spider-Man. And I know in some of the comics they have Prowler as his teacher.
Yeah.
Up until, it's like, oh, wait, Uncle Aaron, you're an evil bad guy? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, they do a similar thing in the game.
Wait, they have Prowler in the game?
Yeah.
Is he a good guy or bad guy?
It's complicated.
Do you have to kill him? Spoiler alert.
Spider-Man doesn't kill.
Okay, that's a fucking
His
lie.
villains
You
kill
know
themselves.
He doesn't kill. He dissolves with his spider venom, and then drinks their dead body.
Spider-Man. What the fuck, Spider-Man?
So the general character arc in Spider-Man Homecoming, as well as the general character arc of Miles Morales in the game, is basically established hero discovers young hero learns the ropes, fails a little bit, and then ultimately learns to find his own path. That's beat for beat basically the same character arc for these two different adaptations of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And you're forgetting one thing though.
Yeah.
You're forgetting the fact that when he does that I don't know anything about Spider-Man. I'm sorry. I'm just joking around. I'm just
I know things about Spider-Man. To be honest, though, I don't mind that they use Miles' storyline for Peter Parker, because as long as the adaptation doesn't fuck everything up, as long as it's not like the Punisher, except he doesn't kill people, or Batman, but he has a Tommy gun and likes to murder everyone. Those are fucked up adaptations. The MCU version, I'm fine with. I know they stole it from Miles, but let's be honest here. If they keep redoing the same origin story for half the heroes, I'm going to slam my head against a brick wall because, oh my god, I'm getting annoyed seeing Uncle Ben die. It's I also want them to be more creative and do other things with Miles. Really just have fun with his character a bit too. Because I think
that's what they're doing.
Yeah. I'm excited for that.
All the villains are doing it all wrong, man. They just need to discover time travel and then
Yeah, just go back in time and save Uncle Ben.
Hey, you know that guy that we hate? Let's do him the ultimate favor.
My friends, Mom. Talking to my friends. I'll be right. I'll be back when I can be back. I'm sorry. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, hi.
I'm sorry about
I
that.
gotta go. I'm sorry. I'll be back within the hour.
Okay.
Okay, man. We'll keep the room warm for you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I'm sorry about
He
that.
said within the hour, but that's like the time that we have to record.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. Like not having a problem with
Different origins
with
and different
taking. Well, let me finish. I get what you're saying. Like not having a problem with taking a bit from Miles's character art for Peter in the MCU, but after I lay out the rest of the parallels that I had written down, I will get into why I don't think they should have taken so much from Miles.
Yeah.
So in Far From Home, I think it parallels his story in the comics, at least in the original run. I haven't read I've only read his like very first comic appearances. I haven't read like the more recent stuff. So I don't know what they've done lately in the comics for him. But
Yeah.
it parallels his early comics and Into the Spider-Verse loosely, where in both Far From Home and those other Miles stories, um, the
Those other
established
kilometer
hero
stories.
dies. The established hero dies. Young hero has big shoes to fill and is called the new Iron Man or new Spider-Man. And then the young hero ends up making a new suit as a representation of finding their own independent identity.
Yeah, but the suit also is loosely based off of the original one.
Right.
The thing though about that I like about Miles is though, not the other way around. That I like about MCU Spider-Man a bit more though is the hero that died at least taught the person some stuff before they died. Where like
Yeah.
in the original run for Miles Morales, he just becomes Spider-Man because he has Spider-Man's powers also. And Spider-Man dies and he's like, I have to take up the responsibility now. Which is a good story arc and
Yeah.
everything. But it's also like, I don't know. I kind of
The
want to see
idea of it
more.
is maybe better than the execution.
But
'Cause
it's
I've
still the
seen
same
some
thing.
criticism of the original comic run and
Oh
how
yeah.
it like doesn't do enough to make Miles his own original character.
That's
Like
the
he
thing
just
though.
feels like a new Peter Parker, and I
Out of
understand that criticism.
out of all of the replacement characters in Marvel Universe, like female Thor and stretchy Miss Marvel and stuff, I feel like Miles is the most like different from his source also. Like they're similar,
Yeah.
but he still feels like he's his own character.
Yeah, I really appreciate that about him because when you have like um
Ironheart, for example, who's just Tony Stark but as a teenage girl.
yeah, what I'm saying is when you have like a new version of a pre-existing character and this new version happens to be like black or Asian or whatever, any other like ethnicity, um you'll have people online saying like, "Well, why didn't they just make a new character?"
Oh
Like
yeah.
for example, like when they cast Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch, people are like, "Well, that's not what the character is. You should just make a new character."
Yeah.
I've never seen a good faith example of that kind of criticism, but you know, bad faith aside, Miles is an example of actually doing that. Actually, you
Making their
know,
own character.
yeah.
Arguably, I think I like Miles a bit more as Spider-Man than Peter Parker because at least Miles is more of like the everyday person and not a multi-million-dollar conglomerate owner,
He's
CEO,
definitely better than what Peter Parker
scientist.
became, for
Yeah,
sure.
all because Doc Ock took over a teenager's body.
Yeah, Miles Morales really feels like a breath of fresh air, like a
Also, his
Just like
movie was
breathing new
cooler.
life into this brand.
Mm-hmm.
And his suit is really cool.
But I know, it's like, I remember people complain a lot about Miles being Spider-Man, but they never complained about Spider-Gwen. I wonder why that is.
Probably because Spider-Gwen is a more minor character. That's my guess.
That and tits.
Tits,
I was just gonna say that, like, but if Miles had big honkers, he wouldn't complain about it.
Hey, you know, it gives my lady something to dress up for Comic-Con.
But no, it's like,
But no, like for real though, like Spider-Gwen's existence is a good thing, if not just disregarding like any other aspects, just giving women something to dress up as for Comic-Con.
That isn't Mary fucking Jane.
Besides like big-titted RPG character or girlfriend of superhero.
Yeah. The problem that I have though is like almost every single female superhero is like either really weird with stuff or is overly sexualized. Like, you remember Silk?
Vaguely.
She's one of the new Spider-Man characters who was bitten immediately after Peter Parker by the same spider as it was dying. And
I only know vaguely about the character.
Before we go into Silk, I just want to talk about this real quick because this is the biggest fucking like what the hell thing about Spider-Man's origins. So if you put all of his origins together, the mutant spider that gives Spider-Man his superpowers was also a West African god, died, but like as it bit him, but also as it was dying, bit another person, and then someone else came back the very next day and ate the spider to gain its powers.
Do you know about
The
Spider-Woman from the Ultimate Comics?
No, I've not seen that. I don't think.
I heard about this like as like a side note in a video about Miles Morales, but apparently Spider-Woman in the Ultimate Comics is a female clone of Peter Parker.
Oh, that's actually kind of. You know what? No, I'm thinking about Ben Reilly and all that stuff, and I'm starting to have worries because Clone Saga was weird and not as good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's as bad as everyone says it is, but it's not good. Like, I liked the characters they introduced because they later on became characters, but why is everything a clone of Peter Parker? Why did Dr. Ock make a new body out of his and Peter Parker's DNA? He made a love child out of a teenager and himself.
Yeah, that's a little
brain.
No, I have
weird.
I have some more like notes written down about minor parallels between Miles Morales's, general like community of characters, I guess, like his general story and MCU.
They straight up stole Genki.
Yeah, Ned is just a Genki reskin.
It is very clear, like even the way they dress and everything.
Yeah, especially playing the game, really getting to like see a lot of Genki and hear a lot from Genki. He's very similar to Ned. He basically is Ned. He's the guy in the chair.
I think Genki though does actually turn out to be one of the villains. I think he's Leapfrog or whatever.
Huh. I know Ned Leeds in the original comics, the guy that they stole the name from and gave to Genki. He became Hobgoblin, I believe. Yep.
I think Genki turns into that version's Hobgoblin. Now that I think, I can't remember. He turns into a villain though, and like him and Miles like have an on and off again frenemy relationship. But not romantic, but like
and
friend and enemy.
And in Spectacular Spider-Man, the best Spider-Man cartoon, Don't At Me, Ned Leeds is a reporter at the Daily Bugle, and he's the guy that's like trying to out Peter Parker as Spider-Man.
Yeah. What happened to James Jonah Jameson?
J. Jonah Jameson is there, but Ned is the guy that's like
obsessed
on the
with
case.
Spider-Man?
Well, he's obsessed with trying to unmask Spider-Man. J. Jonah Jameson is just obsessed with running headlines about him and painting
Okay,
him as a menace and selling papers.
so it's normal JJ.
It's normal J. Jonah Jameson.
Actually, you know what? It's not normal JJ, because you want to know what normal JJ is?
What?
At one point, he made mech suits that displayed his face so he could attack Spider-Man.
What?
Yep,
He
that
did a
is.
full Lex Luthor?
Yeah, he had a bunch of like fucking raptor leg. They look like robots from Mech Assault from fucking BattleTech with like machine guns for arms and shit. And they displayed images of his face. He called them like spider hunters or some shit like that. And he wanted to kill Spider-Man with those.
Wow.
There's a story arc where Spider-Man kidnaps J. Jonah Jameson, and like basically tells him off about all the shit that's been going on, and then like reveals he's Peter Parker, and like it ends with them becoming friends. And later on, during the Red Goblin arc, which is where Green Goblin becomes Carnage, JJ shows up with the fucking mech suits again.
I have not heard of that story. Green Goblin becomes Carnage?
Yeah, it's also where Agent Venom dies and goes back to being Eddie Brock.
Huh.
Venom's had a very
Eddie Brock?
complicated life. Yeah,
So Venom goes back to Eddie Brock?
Venom's with Flash Thompson for a while, who is
Yeah, and that's when he becomes Agent Venom.
Yep. And then after that, he goes back to Eddie, but he doesn't like really being with Eddie, because even though him and Eddie are, they're a good team, Eddie is kind of a huge asshole, and Venom just kind of wants to just be his own thing.
Yeah.
Venom doesn't
I really
like,
want to. I love the idea of Agent Venom. I remember when they did the Agent Venom arc in Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, as bad as that show can be at times, like
Yeah.
Agent Venom was pretty cool, and I
Okay.
really want to see like more. I want to see more of that. Like, it'd be really cool if at some point they could bring that
back.
into the movies or
Yeah.
something.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But like, no, Venom though, I feel like he's one of the more tragic characters in the Marvel universe, because he's not actually a bad guy. He's kind of a victim to circumstance. He just keeps winding up with the worst people. His only son is a mass murderer. His best friend is also a huge prick. And like, he's basically
rough.
simping for Spider-Man the whole time too.
Yeah. So have you seen much of Spectacular Spider-Man?
Not yet.
It's a really good show.
Is it on Disney Plus now, or?
No, it's owned by Sony, but I have it on my Plex server, which I have sent you the link to many times.
I still need to get into that. I keep forgetting about that.
So, anyway, I brought that up because they actually there's a story arc with Venom, and Eddie Brock is he's introduced in the first episode. He is one of Peter Parker's friends. He's also friends with Gwen Stacy. They work at a lab together, and they're really good friends. So, they got to get to the point where Eddie Brock doesn't like Spider-Man and he doesn't like Peter Parker, and he becomes Venom and he's the bad guy.
It's like Gwen dies, so then Eddie gets mad.
No, that's not it. What happens is,
it's a love triangle.
It's not a love triangle.
Okay.
What happens is they basically like make Eddie Brock super petty.
Nice.
Like, it feels like it's coming out of nowhere when he takes this turn. But yeah, so they do the lizard arc. They have Kurt Connors becomes the lizard, and Peter's like, "Oh, I gotta go do something." And then he comes back as Spider-Man, takes out the lizard, takes photos because he's trying to get money to support himself and his aunt. And like the next day, the photos are in the paper, credited to Peter Parker, and Eddie's like, "Bro, where were you when this was happening? You were taking photos instead of like helping." And
Okay, to be
this
fair though,
this
from
incident
Eddie,
happens a couple times just with different villains. Like when the symbiote arrives, and this is like at the point where Eddie Brock is like getting like really asshole-ish. So the symbiote arrives. It's I think it hitches a ride with John Jameson coming back from doing astronaut stuff.
yes, that
They have
is
it in a
one of
containment
the.
unit,
I think that's
and
what they have in the video games too.
yeah, they have so they have the symbiote in a containment unit, and
Yeah.
Black Cat. From what I remember, Black Cat is trying to steal it, and then um, Spider-Man stops her from doing that. Symbiote latches onto him, and then he leaves. He takes photos, and Eddie Brock gets mad at him because he's like, "Well, you weren't doing anything. You were just taking photos. You were just worrying about yourself." And every time some petty fight like this would happen, I was like screaming at the TV like, "Bro, what do you expect him to do? Also, he's trying to support his family. This job at the lab does not pay. He is trying to support his poor family."
Yeah, but okay, to be honest though, I do see where Eddie's coming from because like you gotta remember at this point Eddie's still just a normal human being, and like he's trying to like not die from these horrifying meta humans.
But no, like the symbiote example, no one was there. It was like in the middle of the night.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So like he just comes into a ruined lab. What the fuck, Peter? Should have mopped this up.
Like he should have helped Spider-Man, like, and this is like a hypothetical where like from Eddie Brock's mind, Peter Parker, this normal guy, should have helped this meta-human fight off an experienced
monster.
cat burglar.
Oh, I thought we were talking about fighting the symbiote.
No, he wasn't fighting the symbiote. He was stopping Black Cat from
why
stealing
doesn't
the
Peter
symbiote.
Parker just fight Spider-Man's villains? Imagine Doc Ock shows up
and
Peter
like
Parker. I'm gonna help you, Spider-Man. Let's do this.
And like with the lizard, getting mad at Peter for taking photos of that. What do you expect him to do as a normal human being? Spider-Man is already there. So like what is he gonna like give an extra kick?
Yeah. No, I think he was just mad that Peter didn't help them. He was just taking pictures.
Yeah.
Like, you should have helped us in that situation. We could have died, man.
I mean, I understand being a little upset, but like that's a fight or flight moment.
Yeah, but like you gotta remember though, it's like how often does a giant lizard attack you with the intent of turning you into a giant lizard?
I guess. But like you gotta keep in mind, like Peter Parker is not just a normal guy. He is a guy who to their knowledge has like asthma and shit and is like like scrawny, like not at all like strong or anything.
Okay, well, let me ask this. What was Eddie and Gwen doing at the time when the lizard attacked them?
I don't remember that well, but basically just kind of getting away and like trying not to be killed.
Yeah, I can see if they're mad because of that, because he just disappears on them and leaves them in this situation. So it's like,
still you can't like.
But like,
by the way, I forgot to mention though, with like, I believe this is when the lizard attacked, but because Peter Parker like ran away and was taking photos, he got fired from his lab internship working in the Connors lab.
Awesome. And it's not because he beat up his boss.
This job that doesn't pay, he got fired from because he's trying to actually make money doing the like one of the things that he's good at.
I think that's just the lizard being mad and salty about being defeated. Dr. Connors is like, motherfucker.
That's not it though. It's Dr. Connors' wife that fires him.
How dare you beat up my husband? My lizard husbando.
It's not that though.
Yeah,
She's
I
not
know,
firing
I was
Spider-Man.
making,
She's firing Peter Parker.
I know, I was making a joke. But yeah, no, that's petty. Like, that's stupid. Did she fire?
Yeah,
did she
it all
fire
basically
Eddie and Gwen
culminates.
for running away?
No, and it all culminates with Eddie Brock just being pissed off in general that Peter Parker is like supposedly like really selfish, and it's like, bro, just
He-
let this guy just respect the hustle, man. Respect the grind.
I see. I think I like the Spider-Man 3 origin of Venom a bit more, because at least how they handled Eddie is like he actually gets his entire life ruined by Peter Parker, and he just really wants to kill him after that.
Yeah,
But at least that makes sense.
I don't
It's
know
not-
like
why
what
are you
the
taking
original comic
pictures?
story was. I don't remember. Like I
Essentially
haven't
the
read much of
same
it.
thing. Like, it's
Yeah.
like Eddie Brock is a reporter for the Daily Bugle, and Peter Parker keeps getting better images than him and stuff like that, so he gets really mad because he's laid off.
Yeah,
and then Venom happens.
The only like Eddie Brock adaptations that I like know much about is the one from Spectacular Spider-Man, the one from Spider-Man 3, and then the one from Venom, which I haven't even seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of those, like comparing Eddie Brock from Spectacular Spider-Man to Spider-Man 3, definitely Spider-Man 3 is better, which I never thought I would say.
It's the most accurate to what
I
happens.
never thought the words Spider-Man 3 is better would come out of my mouth, but here we are. 2020 is a hellhole of a year.
In Spider-Man 3, the most accurate shit is the origin story of Eddie Brock and Venom up until they become Eddie Brock and Venom. Because, like, that's basically verbatim what happens in the comics. Eddie is a reporter for the Daily Bugle, gets dicked over by Peter Parker, gets mad, goes to a church, and then, Spider-Man just lets the black shit fall on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like that. I feel like that version is more streamlined too.
A little bit. Like, it's not as...
there's, like, narrative-wise, there's less moving parts with that.
If Spider-Man 3 was just a Venom movie, like it was Spider-Man and Venom's like whole thing, it would have been good. It would have been a pretty
Spider-Man
good Spider-Man
3
movie.
would have been good if any of the three villains were the main villain.
Yeah. Like, shit, you could have Venom and New Goblin still. You could have Venom and Harry as the new Green Goblin and still have it be a good one. It's just the extra Sandman shit that just kind of gets in the way, in my opinion. Because Sandman, that would have been a good story on its own. I know that's what Sam Raimi wanted.
Yeah. I feel like none of the villains get enough time to breathe, and that's
I hear
the
everyone
problem.
say the problem with Spider-Man 3 is that it is 3 movies in one. I argue with that, saying it's actually 2 movies in one. Because, like, you can easily have all of the stuff where Spider-Man is in the black suit fighting the new Goblin and stuff like that. And then, after he, like, figures out that it's evil, gets it off of him. And then that happens to Eddie. And then there's, like, Harry and Spider-Man figure out, like, Harry figures out Spider-Man doesn't kill his father. Maybe in a less stupid way than the butler tells him after 3 fucking years and taking a grenade to the face.
Yeah.
By the way, that butler should have been fired. I'm just saying that right now. Like, he should have totally just on the spot, just, you know what, you're fired, dude. You waited 3 years to tell me. I'm disfigured horribly now. There is weird super soldier juice inside me. How long were you going to let this happen? I tried to kill my best friend. I kidnapped his girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with waiting to tell him that long, but I do get that Norman was trying to, like, protect his legacy.
Yeah, but at the same time,
like,
though,
that's really selfish of
as
him.
soon as he discovers the Goblin Room, probably should have mentioned something like, hey, before you get any ideas, here's the laydown of what really happened. And maybe have it like, when that happens, the butler's like, he tells him, but then he doesn't believe it because he thinks he's trying to save face.
Yeah.
And then later on, like, he finds evidence of it and shit. But, like, a thing, though, for, like, making Spider-Man 3 good, which I know is not what the topic is, but I just want to talk about this because, like, it could have been a good movie. Get rid of all the Sandman parts, have it just be Venom, the black suit and New Goblin. Boom. You get rid of all the filler stuff, so you have time to develop the characters more and actually develop the conflict. And then, like, you can still have basically the same ending, like where New Goblin and Peter Parker team up to fight Venom.
Yeah.
It's like shit.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of that better.
Mm-hmm. But no, they really wanted like Sam Raimi wanted to do the Sandman movie, which should have been Spider-Man 3. I will say that. Like, develop the new Green Goblin a bit more. Maybe make it less obvious it's Harry Osborn. And then, like, the fourth Spider-Man, have it be the Venom movie. And then the fifth one, have it be the Vulture and Mysterio one. When I say Mysterio, I mean, like, you know, just have Mysterio in the cameo. Because that's you know, that's funny.
Yeah.
But it's like...
so, anyway...
Yeah, Miles
Ned
Morales.
is a Genki reskin.
Yeah.
Is what we were talking about.
We like Spider-Man as much as we like Star Wars. I'm sorry.
Next point I had written down, Peter and Ned, they go to a special school, much like Miles and Genki do.
Yeah, they go to a private school.
Yeah, and Peter and Ned go to a Midtown Science, whatever school. It's not a boarding school, but it's like a special
they
science
go to Charles
school.
Xavier School for Normie Children.
And I don't know why I felt this was important to write down, but the bodega man with the cat is a character shared between the MCU and the Miles Morales game. In Spider-Man Homecoming, there's a man running a bodega that owns a cat, and in Spider-Man Miles Morales, there's a man that runs a bodega with a cat.
Except it's better in Miles Morales because, you know,
because the cat gets a Spider-Man mask.
And the best part
which is objectively cuter than a regular cat.
Yes, 100% yes. But it's also better because that cat got a Spider-Man mask without having to be bitten by the same spider that bit like 5 other people and was then eaten
bit
by
Miles Morales.
Miles Morales just takes a chomp out of the cat. Cat develops spider legs.
And MCU Aunt May
also
after playing Miles Morales and seeing
his mom
more of basically just seeing more of Miles's corner of the universe.
It's
MCU Aunt May is
I get what you're saying.
Basically
it's
a direct
100%.
1-to-1 clone of Rio Morales.
Except she's white.
Yeah. Definitely closer to Rio Morales than classic Aunt May.
Yeah. Do they have Miles's dad in the new game? Because his dad is a cop in the comics, if I remember correctly.
Actually, Jefferson Davis, Miles's father, dies in Spider-Man PS4.
What?
Yeah. It's
was he at least a cop?
He was a cop.
Okay.
You fight him not fight him. You team up with him.
I was gonna say, there's a boss fight against a cop. What the fuck?
No, you team up with
Seems
him
a little
in one of
one-sided.
the missions. You team up with him in one of the missions, and then he's getting a medal from the mayor, and then the Mr. Negative and his
of course
band of merry men bomb the event, and Jefferson Davis is killed in that.
I do have to say I love the design for Mr. Negative in the game. He looks really nice. Actually seeing the effect.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can unlock a negative version of the
Spider-Man suit.
The Spider-Man suit.
I saw a video showing all the suits before, and that one looks like the most fun. Like just looking, like visual looking.
Yeah,
I always like that effect. But yeah, wasn't Mr. Negative's plan in Spider-Man PS4 though? He was gonna blow up the city because he was weird.
I still fail to understand Mr. Negative's motivations.
Like I get Doc Ock's whole thing.
Yeah,
I don't get Mr. Negative's whole thing, though.
My understanding of it is that he was born with some kind of extra dimensional energy flowing through him that like just turns him into an asshole, and he can shoot
my
energy,
my
but like
superpower
he
is I'm an
fronts as this
asshole.
philanthropist. I gotta look up like a synopsis for his character. Hold on.
I haven't even seen the game, but all I know is from what I remember seeing his whole story arc, it's basically, "Hi, Peter Parker and Mary and Aunt May. I will help you with your homeless shelter. By the way, I've just executed half the city and released a virus bomb." Why? I don't know. Because I occasionally turn black and shoot lasers out of my hands. Negative
Okay.
out.
So I think this is from the comics, but according to Wikipedia, this is under how did Mr. Negative get his powers? Originally a Chinese gangster and human trafficker whose name was never revealed.
Oh, so he's a great
parentheses,
person.
The name Martin Lee was taken from a slave on his ship that died when the ship crashed onto the New York shores. The man who would become Mr. Negative gained his powers after being captured by crime boss Silvermane and experimented on ... Um, yeah, so I don't think that's his origin in the game.
Yeah,
hopefully.
no. If his origin was he was a slaver and then just became a philanthropist, yeah, no, he's been evil the whole time. Nothing changed him. He's just an asshole.
I'm pretty sure he's fairly normal, other than just the whole demon power thing. I think it's just he's cursed or something. I don't know.
Imagine like
it's too much to get
through.
into.
Imagine halfway through Mr. Negative's boss fight, he's just like, "I remember when I was a slaver." It's like, what? You did what? Yeah, I used to sell people to the drug lords. I was part of a crime syndicate. This was before I got my superpowers that made me an asshole, though. That was normal me. See, I was a good guy at one point.
Yeah. Now you brought up Prowler earlier, and
one of my favorite like story things in Miles Morales is when him and his Uncle Aaron. Like in the comics, Uncle Aaron is not a very good dude. He is still very much like a bad guy, but he teaches Miles a things or two about stuff because he's trying to make Miles the next Prowler. And while doing it and stuff like that, though, it's like Miles starts to become more like Prowler, but in the end, he winds up defeating Uncle Aaron, and Uncle Aaron dies.
Yeah.
And like when he's dying, though, he's like, Miles, you're just like me. And then he dies. So it's like, and the thing is, though, like, he's not wrong because Miles definitely has learned a lot of things from Prowler and has, utilized those skills before and still does. But it's like, I don't know.
But no, I watching Far From Home, I think if you were to like in a hypothetical other timeline, instead of doing Peter Parker in the MCU, you had Miles Morales in his place. I feel like
you could have Prowler as the main villain, and he'd also
Mysterio
be like his mentor.
And Prowler, they function in a very similar role, where Mysterio and Prowler at first seem like a friendly like mentor figure, but then you find out that they're secretly a super villain. Well, I mean, Prowler, it depends on the adaptation, but he is generally not like outright evil like Mysterio.
Yeah, no, Prowler, he's complicated because he seems like he's a good guy at first, but he's definitely a bad guy because all the shit he does is illegal.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Robin Hood, except if Robin Hood was selfish.
So, a robber.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, the people he usually goes after tend to be like also already bad dudes. So
Yeah.
it's a bit weird.
Um yeah, so Prowler in the game though, um I I figure you haven't seen much of the story.
No. I did
Yeah,
see
and
though, when I looked it up though, there was a screenshot of the Prowler suit and it looks fucking lit.
yeah, I don't understand how everyone from like low level thugs to like, the billionaires that you'd expect to have them have these like high tech suits.
Oh yeah, that's what I liked in the Marvel not Marvel in Into the Spider-Verse, because it's kind of implied that Prowler got it from Kingpin and his whole little organization thing. Like it's not like, oh yeah, he
Yeah.
just has it. Cause like the original Prowler suit is basically like a Spider-Man suit with a cape. There's no like laser claws or shit like that. It's just a cloth suit with like knives and shit. Like I think it was like knives on the hands, like little fake claws.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't mind the new designs. They look fucking great. I love it. But there
Yeah.
definitely needs to be some. Hey, what's your source of this mechanized robot suit you wear, Uncle
Yeah.
Aaron? I'll tell you later, kid. Right now, you need to put on your spandex and help me kill this guy.
Yeah, in the game when he's introduced, Genki has set up this app that people can use to like report stuff for Spider-Man to like intervene with. Like you can report crimes, or you can, basically just report stuff that you need Spider-Man to fix. Like, um, he gets a report that something is like blocking signals for the subway to work properly, and it's the bad guy gang fucking with it so they can like I think they're trying to uh pull off a heist, and it involves making the subways not work. But when you get to the person that reported the issue, it's Aaron Davis.
Oh.
Yeah. And so Miles is like, hello, sir. He's doing his like, I'm totally not Miles voice.
And then Aaron's like, hey, Miles, what's up?
Well, not yet. So he's like, hey, Spider-Man, go solve this crime for me. He's like, you got it, sir. And yeah, then like you find out that he is he retired from his life of crime, and he's now trying to like turn himself around. And he's like, yeah, I just he doesn't say this to Spider-Man, but like you can infer he's like, yeah, I had a rough past, but I'm trying to get myself together. Um, he's like, yeah, one thing that I just really miss is I miss I miss my brother. I miss hanging out with him, and my nephew. Really want to see my nephew again. And Spider-Man's like, well, I'm sure he wants to see you too, sir.
And then like Aaron shows up. Hey, Miles, I met you in the subway earlier. You still want to hang out?
That's basically it. Yeah,
Really?
basically. He's like, I knew it was you.
He just shows up. Hey,
Like he
the
recognizes
first
like
meeting.
how he moves.
Oh, it's not the very awkward,
He's like, I know I
clunky
taught you
dialogue.
that.
It's not. Hey,
Well, no,
Miles, I know it's you. Only you could be this awkward when talking to a human being.
well, he hasn't seen Miles in like a decade.
Still, though, like if it's anything like how it is in Into the Spider-Verse, which is a miracle how his dad didn't figure it out.
He probably has his suspicions.
Like, hey, Miles, are you a fucking mutant? What? No. Miles, turn invisible right now.
It's kind of weird how he's so awkward, given that he has the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
The what?
You haven't seen that?
No. What are you talking about?
There's this review for Spider-Man Miles Morales. And the guy narrating the review, he's talking about how like when you like run off the edge of like a rooftop, you know how there's like an animation and then it
Yeah,
goes
as
into
there
the free
should
fall.
be.
Yeah.
As there should be
Um
anytime you jump off a
he
roof as Spider-Man.
well he's talking about how like yeah, this animation where he's like facing the camera, with the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. I gotta find it. Hold on.
Uh,
I'm not
Is
doing
it
it
a
justice.
negative or is it like a positive?
It's not well
I don't
I think it's a positive.
it,
Hold on. All right, I found the clip. You gotta watch it. I sent it to General.
all right, I have to go ask him then if I can see it. Don't know why you're sending it to my insurance company, but
That's so funny. I'm literally cackling right now.
I'm putting it on. Oh, I need to remove a headphone so I can hear it.
He leaps off of rooftops and flips backwards to face the camera before falling into a headfirst dive is just full of the exaggerated swagger of a black teen.
Okay. What does that mean?
He has the exaggerated swagger of a black teen. I don't know what's so hard to understand.
But what is I what does that mean? What is swagger, Alex? I require your knowledge.
It flows through the veins of black teens. Oh,
I must know, Alex.
that's such a weird thing to say in a review.
Alex, I just have to know. Can it be extracted?
It's like in Austin Powers, the spy
They steal
who
his
shagged me.
mojo.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
I have stealed Austin Powers' exaggerated swag.
He's just
I have
a fucking
stolen this black teen's exaggerated swag.
They steal Austin Powers' exaggerated swag, and he just becomes a virgin. He's no longer the Chad Austin Powers. He's now Austin Parameter or whatever. He's now Austin Normal. He's
So
the
anyway.
bumbling oof. So anyway,
Miles Morales.
can we run cars on the exaggerated swagger of black teens? That's what we need to research into. If this is it a kinetic force? Is it how do you gain this ability? Do I have to be bit by a spider or a black teen?
So the spider has to bite the black teen, and then the black teen has to bite you.
Okay, I have a plan.
So
Yes.
Anyway, back to
back to this.
back to whatever we were talking about. So I wanted to bring this up. So we were talking earlier about how MCU Spider-Man is
Basically a copy paste of
Iron Man Jr.
I hate that so much though, because it's not like that. That's like saying that
Yeah.
Miles Morales
I
is
don't agree
literally
with
Prowler Jr. It's like, yeah, the whole thing is he's very much like Prowler, but the thing about that is, like, the whole point of that story arc is that it's Miles' internal conflict of like trying to make himself his own individual because he doesn't want to be Prowler.
Yeah, I don't agree with the whole like Iron Man Jr. criticism because it's like
it's the same thing. That's basically what Far From Home was. It was like Spider-Man really coming into his own and not being Iron Man's like fucking what's the word? Like Iron Man's squire or whatever.
Yeah, his young ward.
Iron Man's ward. That's right. That's what the word I was looking for.
Yeah, but no, what I wanted to bring up though was Iron Man's journey. Is like his hero journey in the MCU.
Very different from Spider-Man's.
No, let me finish. His hero journey kind of more closely mimics Spider-Man's like classic origin than MCU Spider-Man's more than MCU Spider-Man mimics his own classic origin.
You think Tony Stark's is more like Spider-Man's?
in a very like broad sense. I mean,
Yeah.
we would need more backstory to issue any kind of final verdict on that, because like we don't know much about MCU Spider-Man's backstory. I mean, they hint that Uncle Ben existed at one point, but he comes up
I,
roughly 0 times.
I believe they said that it's basically Spider-Man's normal origin story, except he doesn't get a high-tech suit, and he's very young still.
Yeah, and
It's
he's
like if
in
Spider-Man's
Civil War, he
origin,
has been Spider-Man for like 6 months at that point.
yeah. So
But yeah, so what I mean though about Iron Man's journey more closely mimicking Spider-Man's origin, like in a broad sense, when you like lay out the character beats, it's very
yeah, there's
similar. So
well, yeah. Even though it's like Iron Man's origin story and Spider-Man's has always been very similar because it's always about like with great power comes great responsibility. Except with Iron
yeah,
Man's case, it's with great power comes the fact you might accidentally get bombed by your own nuke.
yeah. I mean, when you lay it out though, like the basic beats are: arrogant man with power uses it for selfish purposes. The death of someone important makes him realizes he needs to be more altruistic. He dates a
Yep.
redhead, and his super suit gets more convoluted as time goes on.
Basically, I always loved that panel though in Spider-Man because I saw one that they redid and it looks so great. There's no dialogue on it, but it's the same thing where Spider-Man lets the guy get away who then kills Uncle Ben immediately afterwards. And it's like you've seen the origin so many times that you don't need to hear the words because you know what's going to happen. And I feel like that's just a bit more powerful than, oh, stop him. Nah. Uncle Ben, no.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Yeah. Now it is, bitch. I always like it when a comic book adaptation. I used to be a comic book purist when it's like it has to be just like the adaptation and stuff. And I'm still kind of like that, but mostly with costume design. But with fucking
Yeah, costume design. It's I don't want to say always, but it's usually better when it's more like accurate to the original.
yeah, like
Like
okay. I want to
compare
talk
like the
about
X-Men from like X-Men, X-Men 2, X-Men 3. Compare that to like the newer like costume designs. The new ones look better because like
they're more accurate.
they're more
Like
accurate. There's more color. You know, they're more visually interesting than just a black leather onesie.
yeah, you got to remember those came out during the Matrix time though, so that was all the
Yeah.
rage. But like
And it was all the rage to like not be comic booky. Cause
I
like
remember though.
we were just getting over like the Schumacher Batman era.
Yeah. What a fucking train wreck that was.
I mean, in context, I guess it's not that bad, but objectively, those suits are worse.
Yeah, they aren't good suits to model things after.
Yellow spandex?
Yes. You should have just said that. What if he said that? It's like, what would you prefer?
It's that,
Yellow
like-
spandex? Yes.
That like Chad meme.
The Virgin Cyclops versus the Chad Logan.
No, handsome face say yes.
Yes. That
I'll send you what I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about. Where it's the the rage face. What would you prefer? Yellow spandex, and then there's like Chad McChatterston with the fucking mustache and everything. Yes, just do that, but it's Wolverine's face instead. No, like an example that I have, or like some of my like when Deadpool 2 came out, I will admit I was very iffy about Domino because she looked nothing like the actual character. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's like I remember everyone was like getting mad at people for not liking her because they thought they were not liking her because she's black. And let's face it, a lot of people did. A lot of people were racist fucks about it.
God, racists have to ruin everything.
Like the thing though is like Domino has such like a unique look to that character that it's hard to like, make that character in the movie without looking weird because it's a stark white person with a black eye. It's like after watching Deadpool 2 and stuff, I do like Domino, and I feel like that design does work a lot better.
Yeah.
It's like I just really wish that they had classic
some
Domino,
designs
though,
do not
'cause-
translate well, to be
Yeah.
fair.
I do like also the redesign on Cable stuff, making him look more tactical and less, spandexy. That's one thing I like more.
And not making him like 2 stories tall.
He'd still have him be huge, but like the thing with Cable though is he's supposed to be this like militaristic bounty hunter. Why the fuck would he wear yellow and blue neon colors constantly?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like he's supposed to be the ultimate hunter, like bounty hunter and shit. And it's like,
yeah,
dude, you gotta get spotted anywhere you go. This is like if Boba Fett just covered himself in like light blue spray paint and called it good.
It's like also Spider-Man 3, the black suit. It's not that comic accurate.
Yeah, because
it does work a lot better.
Stuff.
It works a lot better though than like what they were going to use, which would have been more comic accurate.
And it does look a bit weird without the webbing, because like the design of Spider-Man's suit in those movies is so iconic that changing it does look weird. And that's the thing I have in a lot of them, because like with Domino, it's like the whole different design just felt not right, but like in the movie.
Have you seen what they were going to use for the black suit in Spider-Man 3?
Not yet. Here, let me get my phone out.
Hold on, I'm sending you a picture.
All right.
It's basically like it looks like a gimp suit. It's like latexy.
Oh god, you're right. No, that's not good. Too smooth.
It doesn't look as bad as I remember it, but it still looks like a gimp suit.
Yeah. No, It's like I don't know.
Also the mouth on Venom, on the flip side, horrible.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this right now. Although everyone jokes about Venom and stuff, I feel like that movie has the best Venom adaptation. That's disgusting looking.
Yeah.
I hate that. I really hate that.
It has the best Venom adaptation, like story wise.
No costume design.
Costume.
Like, without it doesn't have the symbol because it's not a Spider-Man movie, it's a different thing. But
yeah.
Venom is supposed to be a bigger, more imposing thing than Eddie Brock. And that Venom, everything about him just screams Venom. And I love it. Like even like the big toothy grin.
I don't like that it's a guy, like it's the size of a guy. Like I think Venom should be a hulking monster.
Yeah, because like he basically is.
Because Venom
that is mean.
Venom isn't a suit. Venom is another whole organism that you are in.
Like the whole point of Venom is it's supposed to be a Jekyll and Hyde thing, an allegory of Jekyll and Hyde, like Hulk and stuff, except not as Jekyll and Hyde. It's weird. Like the design is Jekyll and Hyde, but like the actual character is different.
Yeah, and even like the mouth, like
it's supposed to look alien and foreign.
It looks fucking weird in the picture that I just sent. I
hate that because it's giving me some really bad vibes, Alex.
The Venom mouth in Spider-Man 3, in the Spider-Man 3 version, is like where the guy's mouth would be. So it's like Venom really fucked up this guy's teeth.
He just fucked up this guy entirely.
Whereas like big hulking monster size Venom, like
it's his own head. It's not.
Yeah, it's Venom's head. It's not Eddie Brock's head.
Yeah.
So like, it makes more sense because he's huge and Eddie Brock is housed inside this organism.
Yeah, I love in Spider-Man 3 though, there's parts where Venom like opens his mouth really wide and it's like a giant gaping maw, and it's like, what the fuck did he do to Eddie's head? What happened to this man? What did you do? There's like unintentional body horror that's terrifying. They did Venom dirty. God, I'm looking at that closer now. That thing is fucking horrifying. Why did you have to send that to me? Looks like a fucking thing out of Hellraiser. But yeah, no. I like again though, it's like with movies, comic book movies, so many of the designs can be hit or miss. Like a lot of the Spider-Man suits have been really fucking good in the movies. I feel like one of the best ones in my opinion, I like it a lot is the Far From Home final suit, whatever they call it. Like Peter Parker's black and red suit.
I think it's generally called the Parker suit.
The what?
The Parker suit.
Parker suit? Yeah. I like that one a lot though. Like with the black and the red and shit. It just looks so
I got to
nice.
admit, I was not feeling it when the set photos first came out. Like I was not into it. I didn't like it, but I think it's just because it was something new and I wasn't prepared for that. But now, like I've warmed up to it and I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good suit. That and as much as I don't like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, the suits in those were pretty good also.
Yeah,
so many costume designs that could have been hit or miss. Like War Machine in the Marvel movies, that was a good design. Like he looks like a tank version of Iron Man, which is basically what War Machine is. I'm trying to think of ones that have horrible designs. A lot of the bad guys actually in the Marvel movies just have really shitty designs. Like Yellow Jacket. Like I get what they were trying to go for, but why? Why all the lights?
I didn't mind Yellow Jacket too much in the movie.
Yeah, the original design is fucking horrible though. His actual
I'm looking
costume,
at it right now.
Yeah, no, that's one of the worst costumes ever. I understand the need for a change, but I just don't like the change they did do also. Like I feel like it should have been more like an actual outfit. Yeah, that's the worst fucking costume I've ever seen for a bad guy.
They definitely upgraded it for the movie.
Yeah, it's an upgrade, but I just feel like they should have did it more like a more souped up version of Ant-Man's suit instead of it just being a completely different Iron Man looking suit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because like a lot of the bad guys in these movies, they have like these extremely high-tech robot suits. And I want them to be more like Crossbones, in which is like, yeah, there's high-tech stuff, but you can still tell it's like a normal outfit. Also, like with stuff mixed into it.
Crossbones looked so cool for the 5 minutes that he was on screen.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit what they did to him. They did my boy dirty. Crossbones is such a fucking like, he's like a generic bad guy in a lot of things, but I love him. Because it's just like, I don't know. There's just not many mercenaries in the fucking Marvel stuff. And when they actually put them in, it's always fun to see them, like Taskmaster, Crossbones, the fucking, all those guys. It's just...
I forgot Taskmaster is in Black Widow.
Yeah. They also did Taskmaster dirty. That another design I actually really hate is the helmet. Everything else about his design is great, but his
Did you know that Bruce Banner was actually going to be in Black Widow, but then they broke up?
What? Oh, fuck off. Oh my god. No, but like for real though, I want to talk about this. Like I understand that they did it because China doesn't like skulls on their stuff and everything. That's understandable. Yeah, it's some weird thing about like being culturally weird for them. And that's why they didn't do it.
Fucking China.
But the thing is, there is a Taskmaster design they could have used that is very much not used that much, and I love the design look. And it looks like it doesn't look like a skull. Like it's like the new one where there's like you can still see that's kind of skull-like, but it's not as, obvious. And I feel like if they used that one, it still would have been, a pretty decent thing. I'm gonna try and find the image. But like the design they have for him though just reminds me of the fucking suit from Crisis. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Just okay. I found someone made an image on with both versions of Taskmaster, and I'll show you that. There's the classic design, and then there's the one I'm talking about, which I wish they used the head for, because it's basically like just like the new one, except they changed the helmet. And I feel like it's the one with the yellow eyes, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one, like you can tell, like it's supposed to be kind of like a skull, but it's not obviously a skull. Like it's It's
Yeah, that
subtle.
looks cool.
Like the new one is just like a fucking. He looks like the guy from Crisis, and I hate that. Like, it's too high tech for what for like what he is. He's like a. Again, it's like it's like Crossbones. Use him as your base and go on from there.
Yeah.
It's like, I just hate these designs for so many of the villains. Like Vulture was great. I love Vulture's design. Like that's what I'm talking about. It's
Vulture was so cool.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. And then we get like fucking goddamn Taskmaster. Also, I really wish they had Baron Zemo wearing his outfit. I'm so mad he was just a guy in the suit for that movie.
He's gonna be in. He's gonna have a more comic accurate appearance in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I really hope so.
They showed him in like a teaser thing.
They have a suit design?
Yeah, just a second.
I'm looking it up right now.
I'm sending it to General.
Oh, I'm so happy. Hell yeah. You have no idea. I love Baron Zemo. He's one of my favorite on again, off again bad guys. Just because I just like that design. The balaclava and shit.
Yeah.
Just such a good design. It is basic, but it's still like, it's still fun. He looks great though. I love it. Is it glued onto his face or no?
I don't know. They haven't really released a lot of information on it.
Alright, because like that was the origin story for like the original, like the first Baron Zemo, which is his like great uncle. Captain America
I remember you told
glued
me
his
about
mask
this.
onto his face.
So he did that on purpose?
On accident. He threw his
on
shield
accident.
and it hits a bottle of like extreme glue and it just glues his mask on. The other one, Helmet Zemo, which is this Baron Zemo, he has horrifying scars that he covers up with the balaclava. Also because Captain America blew up his face. Captain America accidentally, horrifyingly disfigures a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, now that you mention it.
I don't think it's accidentally. I think Captain America is kind of sadistic. But like, yeah, a lot of costume designs though. I just hate some of them, like the Dark Elves from the Dark World. It's like just such generic shit. It's like that's one of the worst Thor movies, but it's also like so lame.
I'm glad though that bringing it back to Spider-Man though.
I'm sorry.
I'm really glad that they didn't like fuck up the suit, because that's like having the suit look good and like look comic accurate is really important.
But also having
at
it
least
look
to me.
unique for the character too.
Yeah.
Because like if you're changing the character slightly, it needs to still like reflect in their design.
Yeah, I'm very particular about like how the suit looks.
Yeah.
I personally, this might be a hot take, but I personally am not the hugest fan of the Raimi design.
I can understand that. For the time, I liked it, but I still think
I've warmed up to it a little bit. I regard it as a classic, but still, it's not. It's far from my favorite.
I can understand that. Yeah, I think though my absolute favorite suit is the Far From Home Miles suit with the circle and everything. I don't know
Which suit.
Did I say Far From? I mean Into the Spider-Verse Miles suit.
It looks so cool.
Like compare that to his normal suit. It's like I really do like the other one. It just has character to it,
Yeah. But no, the Raimi suit though, like my biggest problem with it is like the eyes, like the eye like lenses.
Yeah.
They just look too angry.
Spider-Man, but I mean, Alex, you could have had the Emissary of Hell Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Who's just really fucking pissed all the time.
Yeah,
like,
the Raimi
Spider-Man,
suit does
what's
look
up?
like the Emissary from Hell.
But like, okay, compare that though. It's like Emissary of Hell has like the angriest looking fucking eyes. He just walks in, just pissed off, ready to throw shit down.
Yeah.
Jumping into Leo Pleurodon so he can kill his enemy after they Gigamax.
But no, like the way that they're curved, it looks like he's just
Really
I
mad.
don't know.
No, I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
he looks it's like intimidating.
He
when it
doesn't
should be more like friendly looking.
He's not the friendly Spider-Man. He's the faux Spider-Man.
I'm your pissed off neighborhood Spider-Man.
I think Superior Spider-Man looked friendlier, even if it had Doc Ock's weird claw arms.
Yeah, and like black eyes.
It's like, hey, it's Spider-Man. Why does he look angry all the time? Spider-Man walks in, flips a table. What's up, bitches? I'm here to save the day. 100% constantly.
Yeah. But the one that I think doesn't get enough attention, like the definitely by far the most underrated adaptation of the Spider-Man costume is the Amazing Spider-Man costume.
I say so. I feel like it's not given enough attention because some people just really didn't like those movies. Like, I'm not a big fan.
And it was only in one movie.
Yeah. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Amazing Spider-Man series, but I do admit the first suit and a little bit of the second one were pretty fucking good. Like, in terms of Spider-Man
the second
suits,
suit as a classic suit,
it's
amazing.
nice. Yeah, it's
nearly
really good.
Perfect.
We were
Now
this close.
the first one, as just a direct adaptation of the classic suit, obviously fails at that because that's not what it's trying to do. But as like a new thing, looks awesome.
Yeah. Like, I'd say that even the Spider-Man Homecoming suit it's a nice suit and all, but I wouldn't say it's a really good one. Like, it's like mid-tier
like
for me. I really liked it better with the black on it from Far From Home. That is great suit in my opinion. But like, Homecoming, it's a nice suit, but I don't know.
I understand what people talk about, like when they're criticizing the design of the Homecoming suit, like like the black bars and everything.
Yeah.
But have you seen the photoshops of like that suit without the black bars?
Is it horrible?
It's not horrible, but like you see why it needs them. Hold on, I'm looking it up.
It's just a lot of void space, isn't it?
Kinda.
I think one of my things I don't like though is the spider design. Like, it's all right for what it is.
I really like the spider design.
I don't know. I feel like it's just because I hate minimalist designs these days. That spider logo just really feels like a minimalist logo. But I don't know. I miss the old one. Give me big spider. Yeah, no. I forget. Does it have the weird back spider also, or is that gone on those?
What weird back spider?
Like, there's some suits where he has like a big ass red spider on his back. Does that one have it? I don't remember.
I'm not quite. Are you just talking about the red spider on the back of the suit?
Yeah, the big like
They
red
all
spider.
they
logo.
all have that.
They all have it. Okay, I couldn't.
They all have a red
thought
back
there was
spider.
one that didn't have it though.
I mean, the homemade suit doesn't.
Well, yeah. Besides that one though, but I might be wrong. I might be just thinking wrong.
Cannot find that Photoshop.
I will say this though, I really do like the homemade suit from Far From Home. Not Far From Home, from Homecoming. I keep saying the movie is wrong.
I found it. So there's one. This isn't the one that I was talking about, but it's a similar thing. I think this example looks pretty good, but the other one that I saw,
Right, it's a bit weird looking
it is a little weird looking.
though.
But it's not as weird looking as
when I
other
look
one
at
that I
it from a
saw.
distance, I can't see any of the webbing, and it looks like Spider-Man's just this red guy, and I kind of hate it. I really hate it.
That's how they draw him in the comics.
Yeah, I know, but looking at it in live action just makes him look like he's this weird, like, red man with no features. I feel like if I touched him, he'd have the same consistency as a Jello cup.
So anyway, tying it back to the original topic, closing out the show.
Oh God, I'm sorry. This has been a mess.
No, it's fine. I wanted to go into a little bit about like since they already used Miles's arc in a basic sense.
They have free reign to
I just
make a new one, and
I
I'm kind of excited for that.
yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk out like how they could introduce Miles in the future, because like there is an opportunity to do something different. Because really, if they do a direct translation of Miles into the MCU, they'll be accused of just doing Peter Parker again.
I mean, an interesting take. One that I've seen some people do in fan art of like redesigns is make Miles, instead of being a second Spider-Man, make him like Prowler, basically.
That's interesting.
Good guy Prowler. Like, I kind of want to see that, to be honest, because some of the designs actually look really fucking awesome. Then again, it's just from fans and stuff, but still.
Yeah. I had a couple of ideas that I had written down. They're not very fleshed out, but they're basic, I guess, elevator pitches.
All right.
So one idea that I had is this is kind of like a twist on what we've been getting lately with Peter mentoring Miles. But in this version, Miles would get bitten by the spider, he would get his powers. He'd start like, going around doing hero stuff. Peter would, notice, and he would try to like reach out and be a mentor. But since Peter at this point is still
kid.
fairly young, uh, yeah, I hypothetically this would probably take place a few years in the future, so he would have a bit more experience. But
Yeah.
in my idea of this story, Peter would up to this point have not had a lot of solo experience. He's mentored by Iron Man, then Iron Man dies. He has to be on his own for a little bit, but now it looks like Doctor Strange is going to be filling a mentor role for him.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's going to
yeah,
be all sorts of weird.
because I guess either so Doctor Strange, I believe, was cast. He wasn't cast, but Doctor Strange is going to be in Spider-Man 3, I believe.
Yeah, he's also going to... a bunch of the Spider-Mans are going to be in the next Doctor Strange movie. They have Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and Tom Holland all in it.
And Ryan Reynolds.
I wonder if they're going to introduce all the X-Men shit into the MCU. Just
I think they're going to at least introduce Deadpool.
Yeah, I wonder if
I've heard no one talk about it, but if you Google the Spider-Man 3 cast, I think it's a Doctor Strange into the multiverse of madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you Google the cast for that, Ryan Reynolds does show up.
Yeah, I've seen it. Like, there's a whole bunch of people are showing up, and everyone thinks that they're gonna have all the Spider-Man in that movie, which would be cool and all. But I kind of just want to see like them be different characters. To be honest, like it'd be nice to have the 3 Spider-Man, but that just feels too fan servicey. It's like
I also just want a Doctor Strange story.
Yeah. I also want Doctor Strange stories.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this basic story outline.
Yeah.
So Peter reaches out to mentor Miles, but he's not quite good at it. And Miles, like having been on his own, like starting out, he's basically learning the ropes. He's like, I don't need this, and he ends up being a much more independent character than Peter Parker was.
Yeah.
Because Miles is like he's doing well on his own, and Peter's either not helping or being more of a hindrance. Because he's like trying to teach him his way, but Miles is like, it's not how I do it.
Have this like conflict where they're both warring with which method's better, but in like the end they work together using each other's methods.
Now, I don't think it should be a difference of like, well, Miles kills and Peter doesn't. It shouldn't be like Batman and like Azrael or whatever his name was.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be like that. It should be more like Miles, he does more of like the Prowler shit where he's more like fear and intimidation. And Spider-Man's more
Yeah.
like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that. I don't know.
Yeah. And even in this adaptation, like since Miles is being more independent and he's not having this like direct inspiration from Spider-Man, he could have his own, persona. Like he could be the Prowler.
Yeah, again, I really want to see that. I like a thing that everyone is always getting at. It's like, whoa, there's two Spider-Men. What happens if like they're both in the same room? It's like easiest solution. Just have Miles adopt the name Prowler and make it a good guy thing instead. He can keep the Spider-Man suit. Doesn't really like affect it.
Yeah. And then I had another idea that honestly it could be its own it could be put into its own story, or it can be like integrated into my first idea.
Yeah.
But in this basic outline, Miles survives the snap from Infinity War, and then by the time he appears, like when we find out about him, he's either closer to Peter's age or he's older than him, and he has up to this point like
Been
5+
Spider-Man.
years of experience. At depending on when we get him introduced, he has like 5 to 8 to even let's say 10 years of experience
Yeah.
because he has this extra time during the snap between Infinity War and Endgame.
That's enough time to learn some new tricks.
Yeah. It would have been cool if they like laid the groundwork for this in Far From Home, where it's like, what do you think about this new Spider-Man running around in your absence?
Yeah.
Just some kind of throwaway line like that, like from one of the reporters, would have
Yeah.
been enough to like keep fans going
Yeah.
and like give them hope.
The problem with it though is I don't think they're gonna bring him into the MCU just because China's weird about that kind of shit.
What do you mean?
Like
What are they weird about black people?
yeah. Like you've seen Star Wars, like the advertisements here and then the ones in China. They basically like either make Finn the smallest character on the posters or just completely remove him. Because like for some reason China just doesn't watch movies with black people in it. That's like a known thing.
Oh my god. I'm looking at the Chinese poster for The Force Awakens right now.
Yeah.
They just took him out entirely.
I
Oh
think
my
there's
god.
one where he's next to a stormtrooper and that's it. Same pose and everything, but he's just kind of lazily photoshopped next to a stormtrooper. But yeah, no, this kind of shit happens a lot in China, and it really upsets me. Because it's like,
I had no idea China was racist.
I mean,
Maybe it's racist for me to say that. I don't know.
like not the whole of China's racist, but definitely like the media and shit like that over there. They don't really
Definitely,
want
the Chinese government is fucked up.
to. Absolutely, like 100%. It has not changed since the fucking protests and shit. It's still just as vile as it was before. Yeah, no, there's one of them where they put him underneath Han Solo's gun, so you don't really notice him.
Wow.
It's so bad. I hate it. He goes from being one of the central characters to just being nothing. It's so fucking stupid.
I guess they could still make a Miles Morales movie. They just can't have him in the poster.
Yeah, for example, Black Panther. Here's a picture showing some of them.
Oh my god,
You saw
see it
with the mask
see it.
on.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Come on. Jeez. It doesn't even look good.
Yeah, no, it's a waste. It's like a really hazily photoshopped thing.
I don't like when Black Panther, like with the mask on. I don't like when you can see his eyes. I just want it to be like, the white eyes,
Yeah. Oh, they changed the Last Jedi one. It's weirder. Like they replaced Luke with Rey and Rey with Luke. Here, I'll show you both of those. This is it. They didn't do anything to Finn. Really, I think they may have made him smaller or less noticeable, but Yeah, no, I kind of dig the lightsaber design in this one. It's still a weird thing to see. Like, here's the original one, and
Hmm.
this is the Chinese one. And I kind of like the what they did with the lightsabers in that one, but it's still I don't. Are they trying to say raise the Last Jedi? What is this? Oh
See,
no.
it just works better with Luke at the top
Yeah,
because of like, having like the hood and like just composition wise,
it's a
the one
more
with Luke is better.
yeah. I will
The
say
one with
though,
Ray just looks weird.
yeah, but with the lightsabers though. We'll
Like
send all
Luke
these
is
pictures in the description.
the
I
one
feel
with
like that's vital.
the one with Luke like at the top, like it feels like he is the background. But with Ray, it's like she's just slapped
There.
on top.
Yeah. But those lightsabers though, I do like that symmetry. It really like with the original Last Jedi, it kind of lacks that a bit. It like there's Luke that's symmetrical and everyone else's, but then the Kylo and Ray are kind of like doing weird poses. If they were more like that, ooh, I'd totally be down. Like just Photoshop Luke's face out, put Ray's there, boom.
Yeah.
Like that's a pretty good one. Yeah. Also looking at it, they did Photoshop John Boyega a little bit. He's smaller, but only by a little bit.
He looks about the same size.
Looks like he's smaller to me. Maybe it's because his collar's more cut off. But yeah, no. China is weird about that kind of stuff in the marketing. They don't like skulls. They don't like other races.
Yeah. All right, so we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this up. Thank you everyone for listening to Bold of You to Say. If you like today's episode, leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever your platform allows. If you're listening on YouTube, leave a comment with what you'd like us to cover next. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you can leave a review in app. Some other apps can do that. I don't know which ones, but if you can leave a review, it'll help us out a lot. If you disagreed with anything we said in today's episode, our social media will be linked down in the description, so you can yell at us there, or just give us a follow, see what kind of stuff we tweet. Or if you're listening on YouTube, leave a comment yelling at us for whatever you disagree with us about.
And if you're that one commenter that keeps like trying to get us to look at porn, please stop.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Or just tell us why.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about merch. We're planning it out. It looks like we will have our merch store up within the next week or two. So be on the lookout for that. We're gonna sell some pretty cool original designs. Jared draws stuff, and it's very unique, and I like it.
I apparently
and
can
think it
draw
looks good on
a
the shirt.
very accurate crab from memory, and I never noticed that until it was pointed out to me. I take like 15 minutes with each drawing I do. Like, they're really fast and kind of sloppy, because like that's just how I do.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. We do.
In the meantime, if you want to support the show, we do have a donation link at the bottom of the description. You won't get anything out of that. We don't have any incentives set up yet.
Oh, yes, we do. All you dirty boys. I will piss in your pants. Callback. There we go.
That's a callback. That's a good callback.
But,
share with a friend. Share the show with a friend that you think might like the show. Even if you didn't like today's episode, share it with all your friends. Chances are at least one of them will like it.
Alex,
Download all of our episodes. It's good for analytics.
I had an idea.
Yes.
Like, I don't mean to interrupt the thing, but what we can do is we can set up a Patreon and have all the tiers different like variations of Dirty Boy. So they're all our dirty boys. Uncleansed lads.
The $1 tier, Jared will piss in your pants. $5 tier, Jared will shit in your pants.
Dirty Boy. $5 tier. Unclean lad. Like the $10 tier is like filthy individual or some shit like that.
And with that, you have been listening to Bold of You to Say. Thank you for listening, and good night. We did it, Reddit. Another episode in the can.
I think this was actually 3 fucking hours because of all the rants. Oh no, it's roughly 2. Hell yeah, we're still on time.